Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to talk to you and hang out. If you're here in the chat live, you can throw the Bear Cave emote or the Lego emote in the chat. Let me know you're around. We're going to wait a few more minutes, see if you folks want to join us before we really kick off the build. Mr. Bob is here, already off to a great start. Hello, Mr. Bob. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, if you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Like I said, we are going to wait a couple minutes, see if anybody wants to join us. Mondays can often be pretty light, and as always, I guess the thing I don't say that often, and I should say it more often than not, is it's okay if there's not like 30 people watching. If there's like 10 people watching live, that's cool. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with one person. If I was hanging out with one person watching me live, doing my thing, I'd be totally okay with that. Lashbrook's here. Happy to have you, Lashbrook. I mean, that pans out when you look at the YouTube viewership. My YouTube viewership for my 2-hour build streams is pretty low. But my other stuff is higher than that. So it's like, okay, sure. My VOD is decent on some and not on others. So some people choose to watch it later on VOD here on Twitch, which is cool and totally like a fine thing for them to do if that's something they want to do, if that's how they want to enjoy the streams. And I have people that come in, once a week. They're here every Saturday is their day, and they come in on Saturday, or they're off for a couple weeks and then back. Always happy to have people. And then there are folks that are just like, yeah, I watched you build a lot. You talked about anime. I'm good, which is okay. Totally fine with that. Someone sent me a message, was it yesterday, that they did their first ever model kit build with their child, and they were partially inspired by myself and Austin Walker talking about model kit building, and that made me really happy. I'm glad that someone got to do an activity with someone that they care about, and it's at least partially because of what I do here. That makes me very happy. Working on the Gundam Bael, Bael. This is the Iron Blooded Orphans, and it is a full mechanics. So if you missed Saturday, we finished up the previous build, and we're starting on this. We finished up the pizza van, the Lego, and we're doing this, and I'm excited. If you haven't seen me build the full mechanics before, well, it's cool because, like the name suggests, you build. It's full mechanical. So you build all of the interior. That sure is a full mechanics frame, says Mr. Bob. Indeed, Mr. Bob. So a thing that happened on Saturday is one of these pieces here. It's hard to see in this shot, but one of these pieces, I went to equip it and it flew out. So I have an extra full mechanics kit that's from a Lupus Rex. Well, that's the same piece. So glad I have that extra. But yeah, this is going to be fully like the interior frame except for the feet. The feet are the exterior. You can see it on the armor. And then we'll build the armor around it. You will even take a piece off here and there. This sticker will not be noticeable in the final build. But if you wanted to have a full mechanics where you saw the interior frame, you can see that. And I love the idea of building the whole frame. And not just like build all of the chest and all the armor. Build all of the arm and all of the armor. Build the head and everything. I like the idea of building the whole body, the whole frame. I think it's cool. I really enjoy this kit. If you didn't check out my YouTube today, Monday, May, what was it, 7th? What is today? May 6th. That's right. It's May 6th. If you didn't check out my stream, my video I put up today on YouTube, I got another mailbag kit, and it's the gun cannon detector, which is the RE100. It was originally in Zeta Gundam, and then made a reappearance in a different form, color scheme, which is the color scheme we're going to be building in Unicorn OVA. Good evening, Epic Open World. Happy to have you here. It's been a little bit. Nice to have you in there. We're going to go live for the overhead shot and start building in a moment or two. But yeah, so gun cannon will be the next thing we build when we're finished with this. I like it because I like building gunpla that isn't necessarily a Gundam, right? And the gun cannon is, you may have noticed this, other than death size, my number 2 or my other number 1 thing that I'm super into when it comes to model kits is lots of weapons. And the gun cannon is in the name. Also, gun cannon detector is a It's not so bad it's good. I think it is just a bad name for a thing. Uh, but it's a good kit. I think it's a fine looking kit, and I like the RE100s. It'll be the third one we build in that line, maybe the fourth one, but we've built a few. Let's go to the overhead shot, because why keep you waiting? Let's build. Build. Reminder, folks. Gun cannon is my favorite Final Fantasy weapon. Indeed, Epic Open World. But to correct you, no disrespect intended with this correction. I'm not trying to actually you, but to make it even more anime, gun cannon is one word. It's gun cannon detector. So that's just how that rolls and that works. So the gun cannon detector is a thing that we're going to build next. And the only way we won't build it next is if someone else buys something from my wish list that I get before I finish this up, in which case I would then, it would be upon my wonderful folks in the Patreon, $10 backers, to vote on what I build first, and then I build the other one after that. That's how that works. When I have multiple things from my wish list and it's time to build a new kit, I leave it up to them to decide which I do next. Now, I've already noticed, you may remember, if you were here on Saturday, you love the RE100 line. I do too, as well. I mean, I'm falling in love with it. The Hama Hama is, look, the Hama Hama was my favorite build of the year because of how weird it was until I worked on the perfect grade. So Charizard 2 is now my favorite build of the year, but that was, up until then, the best build I had done this year. So you may have noticed, if you were here on Saturday, I had put these rubber pieces in the arm sockets wrong on the chest. I had to fix that. And I just noticed that I put this in wrong as well. This is the waist. We're building the waist here. And I did it wrong. So now I am fixing my mistake, which is great. And we're going to need this tool in a moment, so I'm going to keep that aside because we are going to be pretty quickly. Okay, so that's that one. Like that. That's going to go the front. We are very quickly going to be working on our stickers here on this kit, so we'll get to that in a moment or two. Just going to pop these pieces out. But yes, the RE100 line, the RE100, is a really fascinating line. It is for kits that they don't want to put out as a master grade. It'd be too expensive because they'd be very large or very bulky or just very expensive to detail right. So, or they did in the past in limited quantities. So this is a way to get more of them out there. So instead, what you end up with is a RE100 line. And they're just very sharp, cool kits. This is the Bael. This is a beautiful looking kit. I enjoy the sleek swordsman or sword wielder style model kits that you find quite a bit in this line, or the Iron Blood Orphans line. I enjoy that. Look, as much as I love a big, bulky, monstrous kit, and I do love that very much, I also can honestly really appreciate just a sleek samurai-looking robot. Samurai-style Gunpla, I'm on board for you. Try to focus this a little bit here. It's kind of washed out. I'm kind of washed out. Oh, there we go. That's better. One of the issues I run into with the green screen stuff is that as we are approaching the longer and longer days, it gets darker later and later, and I have to set up my gear, and it's still sunlight is coming in into my bedroom, and that makes balancing things more difficult. So I do run into that problem, whereas in the wintertime, it's a lot easier to set all this up. Alright, so we are now going to we got to put 4 stickers on here. So we'll use this, and we'll try to use our sponger here. We might have to switch into our tweezers if we need to do that. Hope you're all doing well tonight. If there's anything you want to chat about tonight, like, feel free to hop in the chat and let me know. You don't have to, but you're certainly welcome to. I am going to get out my tweezers because these are uh, unfortunately my sponger. I am probably due for a new sponger because this is no longer the wedge I would like it to be, and this is no longer point sharp at all, pointed. So I will use my tweezers to remove stickers instead. Um, I want to go on record as saying that I had heard about the decision on the Vice higher ups to start pulling some of the exterior Vice brands back into Vice proper, and how I was opposed to that and still continue to be opposed to that. I think that it is short sighted in the short term and long term, that while it certainly could benefit Vice in the long run, that is not how you rebrand or rebuild the Vice name. That's not how you fix the toxicity within the Vice brand. You don't do that by pulling in the things that have disassociated with themselves and in fact thrived because they don't have the baggage of Vice. By pulling those back in, I do not believe that you make anything better. I was pleasantly surprised to hear. I think I tweeted that that when Austin was starting up the gaming vertical, that it would not be Vice Gaming or Vice Games, which Mike Dyer had started doing. Um, Yes, Epic Open World. A bunch of people saw that. Epic Open World writes, so I read the article Austin posted about the Waypoint name change. Ironically, Vice served up the article Why Vice Gaming is Changing to Waypoint as the next one to read. Yes. So, Vice Gaming was a subheader, right? Mike Dyer had worked hard to make it part of his beat in the UK for Vice to cover gaming. And one of the first thoughts would be that it would be, Vice Games or Vice Gaming. And it makes sense. But when they made the decision to have it be a separate product or a sub-brand, like Broadly, going back on that, it's just my opinion, it is my opinion, that it not only does it not help Vice, it hurts Waypoint. Now, obviously, bringing it in means that you're a Vice employee who does gaming things for Vice Gaming. That's what it is, right? So that means that, they're already pulling Danielle out of it, right? Vice was already pulling Danielle to do other things. That was going to happen if they kept the name Waypoint or not. But it does mean that perhaps, I don't know the financials. I don't know how. Hello, Ultron. Happy to have you here. Welcome. I don't know the financials. I can't speak on that. I can only speak on what I do know, which is, it's I don't think it's good for Waypoint. I don't understand how the name change makes more money for Vice. Well, Epic Open World, they benefit from it because the Waypoint Patrick Klepek breaking a story for Waypoint does benefit Vice, but they have to say our Vice sub brand Waypoint is doing this good thing. Check that out. But now they're just saying, oh yeah, Vice broke this. Vice Gaming broke this. Or Vice Games broke this. It is an attempt to say that and Broadly and all these other things that's just Vice. In the same way that not everyone would think of BuzzFeed News as being a wholly separate entry for BuzzFeed, even though no one for a long time anyway, for a period, no one at BuzzFeed News did listicles. They were news people, and they worked for the news brand. And of course, that's still BuzzFeed News. It isn't the same corollary 1-to-1. It's in the same way that Somebody at CBS has done the numbers and have certainly decided that, for now anyway, Giant Bomb as an entity makes sense to have it be its own thing. But at some point in our lives, in the future, Giant Bomb's going to end and just be absorbed into GameSpot. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Now, that might be when everybody we like has already moved on to other things or retired, or we even stopped paying attention to it because we can only like things for so long. The fact that, like that I'm still engaged with them is a testament to me liking the people that work there after 10 years. Like, that's liking things for 10 years is a long time. I am a different person than the person that started engaging with them. Giant Bomb has a dedicated person whose job it is to make sure it has money. Yeah, but at a certain point, yes, Giant Bomb content already surfaces on GameSpot. Because it's still part of the property, and like, at some point, someone might say, CBS Interactive. Somebody at CBS Interactive might go, hey, all this video game stuff, why isn't that just branded under CNET? Why don't we have CNET games? And then boom, we have CNET games. And everyone we like works for CNET games. Totally possible. I'm not saying any of this is happening. I'm not making any assumptions on that stuff. I'm just looking at what I understand about, like, people and the decisions they're going to make to better them. CNET games would make Giant Bomb too. Yeah, I mean, I feel like once Giant Bomb goes, they might stop playing games. It's odd to say, but they feel like my tie to games, probably because they're the same age as me. Yeah, Epic World, I mean, I understand that. As for Waypoint, I always found it weird that they were supposed to be the gaming site, but Motherboard still routinely runs gaming articles. Yeah, Lashbrook, and you're not going to see You're not going to see that probably. And then also sometimes Waypoint would be doing entertainment content. Especially this year, Danielle was certainly stretching into other avenues and other styles of critique and working on other properties. And there's certainly precedent for that. I mean, you look at Polygon, and Polygon does a bunch of stuff that other Vox Media sites do within their own content, within their own brands. Because it makes sense for them, because their audience, like, as much as I know there are people who always say, like, oh, it's all pop culture stuff on this site and they don't talk about games. Also, the people that like games like other shit too. Like, I don't watch it myself, but I know that, like, oh, weird, gamers really like Game of Thrones. So, like, an article about Game of Thrones written by someone I already like on this gaming site, I might check that out. Because, like, why not? I want to know Simone de Rochefort. Pardon me. I want to know her opinions on some pop culture stuff, because I think her opinions are rad and interesting. So, like, yeah, I'm interested in that. I've always been fine with that, with that kind of crossover. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I was surprised when they were like, we're going to have a name. We're not going to be Vice Gaming. We're going to have a name and a brand. And I was surprised about that, because I just assumed that it was going to be, like, just another name. It did very much surprise me to find out, oh, no, it's just part of it. It's its own thing. So, I do think at this point, though, it's bad to do. Mr. Ross says, did Waypoint ever get dedicated space? They always seem to have to mooch all the space of other Vice properties. J Smith OTI just subscribed. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime. Hey, subscribers, let's throw the Bear Cave emote in there, and thank our new subscriber using their Twitch Prime Thank you so much for that. I very much appreciate it. Folks, I've said this every stream, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can link that with your Twitch, put them together, and put it together. I know Austin is way smarter than me, but it feels like mistakes were made with the launch of Waypoint, especially their streaming strategy, which seems key to any game sightseeing. Well, Epic Open World, their streaming strategy is they wanted to stream a lot, and then they can't. So they can't stream any. They don't get to do that. The resources to be a site that a channel that streams doesn't exist for them. So I don't know what to tell you. I believe in my heart of hearts that streaming does not work for major gaming sites, which is why you don't see it anymore. Because you don't. Video is poison. No one knows what works. Podcasts are the only thing that people think works right now, because they don't think that pouring a bunch of resources into video content, streaming content, works. Streamers work. Streaming as a company does not apparently work for people that are allocating funds. It just doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. I think there was a time where that was a thing that people were like gung-ho about, but I think that's over. Thank Facebook for facing the video market. Yeah, faking the video market. Yeah, I think part of that is certainly there's a case there. And that's me making like grim observations based on like yeah, Lord Crashington, I mean, I don't know who owns videogames.com. Like, that could be somebody else just doing the redirect. It could be a Giant Bomb thing as well. But, like, to me, you know, oh, Jeff might have bought it. I do not know. That is a thing that I don't have an answer for. I thought it was maybe one of the many people that just buy websites and have them redirect to Giant Bomb based on conversations. But yeah. Yes, videogames.com could easily go to all those. Websites are weird in 2019. I agree with you. Like, I'm glad that there is still some video content going up on Polygon. Because that is... I said this before, and I mean it. It is a thing that I fully mean when I say, but there was a period there where my favorite comedy website was Polygon's YouTube channel. Because the people that were making content for it were incredibly funny. I have a playlist where I watch a lot of the Polygon Jackbox streams because they're just great background streams. They're just fun to have in the background while I'm doing other things. And, you know, they're just not doing the quantity that I would like. And I thought the weekly streams, the PUBG streams were really fun. And as far as I can tell, that's not sustainable. And that's a shame. I agree with you, Epic Overworld. I do think that Pat and Brian make good stuff for Polygon. I agree. But I don't think that, but like Simone doesn't have a weird video series right now. How you gonna have Simone de Rochefort work for your website and you don't have her make weird videos? How's Simone not making weird videos right now? It seems to be a waste of just a really creative, interesting person. But yes, Unraveled is one of the best things on the internet. I'm totally in favor of Unraveled and seeing that. I'm a huge fan of that series. But it is, you know, at best weekly. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the answer is. I continue to believe that Waypoint being absorbed back into Vice is bad for my friends who are employees of Vice and not gonna be super beneficial to Vice in the long run. But if it means that, you know, Jessica Klepek has a college fund, okay. If it means that Danielle has health insurance for when she inevitably injures herself in her many physical activities, okay. And hey, maybe Austin can sleep. I don't know. I don't think that'll help. I don't think this will help Austin in his ability to fucking rest. God damn it, Austin, rest. But maybe running a vertical within Vice will be less than being the in charge of Waypoint. I don't know. Um, Polygon still has a bunch of written material. Indeed, Mr. Bob. Um, Unraveled is great, but it seems like take way too much effort to produce. Yeah, Mr. Bob, I wouldn't disagree with you. It certainly seems to be a lot of work. Is pumped into it, but I do think it's worth it because I think it's great. Whoa, we got a bunch of people watching. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this is the Build with Baer workshop. I'm building model kits. Working on the Gundam Bael right now, which is from Iron-Blooded Orphans. We're working on the skeleton here, but we're going to start on the legs. Welcome. Happy to have you here. We're just talking about, websites, gaming websites. Yeah, I pick up a world, brought up, like, what are they doing? And I think they're doing a lot of stuff for Vox, like, in different capacities, and podcasts. Thank you for the host. Appreciate that very much, Jay Smith. That's very nice of you. Thank you for hosting. Yeah, and I think they're like a bunch of people that were doing video content, and now they're doing other content. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but, hopefully they're enjoying it, and it's something that they can keep doing and find the fun in it. But yeah, I'm just going to quickly check the old Twitter, see if it was... Nope. Oh, you know what it might be, folks? It could be, perhaps, that some folks might be popping in because they... when I got the notification, I first read it as Gundam Belt and was confused and intrigued about what Gundam Belt would be. Oh, yeah, no, we're not building a Gundam Belt, but that would be pretty cool. It makes more sense to launch a Patreon than to try to launch a web page. Yeah, Mr. Bob, obviously there are pros and cons of being independent through that style of independence versus being part of a larger corporation. But it is neither is great. People can be really excited about being their own, having their own thing, but when it comes right down to it, sometimes that's incredibly terrifying. Oh, I do kind of think perhaps folks are popping in because, they became a new follower, because I had a bunch of followers, and this is the first stream I've done that isn't during the Waypoint, Save Point stream, because even, on Saturday we still had people who were watching Waypoint for the mods, so perhaps it's some folks popping in for the first time because they saw me on that charity stream. If this is your first time here watching, or if you're an infrequent viewer, hello and welcome. Happy to have you here. Patreon seems to make taxes terrifying. I mean, yes and no. Like, obviously, I don't know for sure because I am under the point where I have to really deal with it too much. I don't make a lot through Patreon to deal with too much of that stuff because it is not a business right now. I do make enough money, peek behind the curtain, on Twitch that I had to declare it. And in fact, Build with Baer Workshop is a business entity. You followed appearance on the Waypoint stream. Well, welcome. Happy to have you here. Giant Bomb works because of subs. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that having the subscription model makes them interesting to sites. Having dedicated folks that are watching, because there are a lot of people out there that very much enjoy the Bombcast, and maybe they also listen to the Beastcast, and that's it. There are a lot of people that are just like, yep. I don't go to the website. I don't go to the YouTube. I'm not a subscriber. I just listen to the podcast and I hear some ads and I like it. There's a lot of people that's how they interact with Giant Bomb. So like having subscribers, meaning that like there's a dedicated number you can point at every month that say these are the people that are really engaging with us. Like part of it is of me pushing Twitch and Patreon, all that is obviously it helps me keep going. But like, yeah, when the numbers go up, you can point at and go like, hey, well, here's my steady numbers. Here's what my average numbers are. Here's what people are into. Seeing what works on Giant Bomb is great. Who knew GoldenEye could be a hit content for over 3 months? I mean, that's also because you try stuff, right? Like, there's some content that doesn't hit with the audience, and there's some content that does. And luckily, they have the freedom to like pilot programs, like the series they were trying to do where they played like B games. That didn't go anywhere because maybe those B games really aren't B games, or it wasn't something that they were really like passionate about, or it might just been the audience was like, meh, no thanks. Which is luck. It's very incredible and great that they have the ability to try stuff like that and to fail. They just played another B game, yeah, but like it didn't take over the site. You know what I mean? It's not like they're doing it all the time. There are segments that are like clearly for them, right? Like, hey, I've never been into skateboarding games, but you know what? I want Jeff to play a bunch of skateboarding games because I know he loves them. So like, hell yeah, do that segment, play those games, have your fun. Like, hell yeah, I want Jeff Gerstmann to have a great time playing the games he wants to play. And that makes me happy. No one knows what a B game is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the definition of B game is tough because, like, one of my favorite games is definitely a B game. Metal Gear Revengeance is a B game. That's a B tier game. But I love that game. That game is awesome. And it's such a blast playing it. They turned that weird ending sequence for that one Tony Hawk board game into a full series. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's like is a hard subject to kind of like. That might have been the best example, but yeah, I mean they're able to grow and change and experiment, and a large part of that is because they have an audience willing to give them a chance, and they also do enough content. Hi, Brown Lantern. Hello and welcome. I did. Yeah, we are talking about some website stuff. We're talking about a little bit of Giant Bomb right now, but this obviously spurred off conversations about Waypoint, and it talks about Polygon as well. I like watching video content. I don't do as much reading as I would like. Right now, I don't have much of a commute, as I am unemployed, as many of you know, or underemployed, as many of you know. So I am spending a lot of time, like, I've got a lot of podcasts to listen to because I don't have a reason to be on the subway as much. So I'm not listening to as many podcasts as I used to. But I've got plenty of time to watch video. And so when sites I like aren't putting out video content as much, that's a bummer. Okay, going on here. The Drive-In is now following. Hello, The Drive-In. Welcome. Also, The Drive-In, great username. And not just because it's very easy for me to say, which sometimes y'all throw some curveballs at me. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it's your name, and I'm just bad at pronouncing things. Culturally or whatever. I'm saying sometimes y'all just pick things that you know what you mean, You jumbled a bunch of words together and sections of words, and you know what it's supposed to say, and I just have to like deal with it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Giant Bomb is very helpful for that. Like, Ranking of Fighters came out today. Giant Bomb does a great job of being real weird and letting you see the warts. Indeed. Um, yeah, segments that don't work is certainly thrive in. Okay, so for those that aren't familiar with full mechanics, as I said, we were building the skeleton all the way first. The only part is they don't do the skeleton of the legs. As you can see, this is the first time we've done any color here and any armor pieces is the legs, or the feet for the legs, I should say. And that's actually disappointing. I'll say that. It is probably the most disappointing part of this kit is that we don't build the skeletal frame of the feet and then put armor around it. Like this back piece of the leg, the heel, is just the armor, and that's kind of disappointing. But that's the only part of this kit that I will say I'm unhappy with so far. It is a pretty simple build and fairly easy to put together. Once you build a full mechanic, you're fine on full mechanics. But it's still enjoyable. I still enjoy putting these kits together. Yeah, I don't know. So I thought about. I'm sad Natalie is leaving Waypoint, says Brown Lantern. She's the same age as I am. Yes, I am sad too. I'm glad I got to see Natalie last week. I'm excited for where she's moving to and what she's going to do. It is a bummer for Vice Gaming. Because they will, yeah, they are worse off with her having moved on, and hopefully they will rally and figure it out. But she was a fun voice. She's still finding her voice and figuring out how she wants to be on podcasts and how she wants to be as a writer. And considering that she started as an intern and then stuck around and contributed so well is a testament to Danielle and Austin and Patrick and Rob and and Kato and the whole team. But yeah, I think that it was fun watching her figure out, like, get better. Like, it's like she got introduced to us as like, oh, this is Natalie. Here's Natalie. She's gonna play games on stream and figure it out, and let's watch her figure it out. But yes, it is really fun to watch people to grow, especially no surprise there, folks. I am older than a lot of people who are doing cool things in the video game entertainment and video game journalism space. So it's fun to like watch people. I mean, hell, I was a 1UP fan when Patrick was like the new kid in there running the news program, and people were like, this seems like a child. What's going on? And I was like, oh yeah, he seems young, because I wasn't on the forums that he was posting on forever. So I didn't watch him figure it out. So when he came to Giant Bomb years later, I was like, I know Patrick Klepek. Hell yeah. I was very excited about that. And I was really excited when he became a Vice employee and started working on that. It was very awesome because I knew the kind of work he was doing. Really, I didn't even know there was Giant Bomb until 2015. Yeah, I mean, I always say this, like, somebody was doing a thread, I forget what, it was a Facebook group that I belong to, and someone was doing a thread of what seems like an obvious website or YouTube channel that you want to recommend. And I recommended a channel that I was like, well, there's like 15 million people are subscribed to this, so I'm sure you all have heard of it, and no one in the thread had heard of it. So like, there's so much out there that people just don't engage with and have no concept of, because the internet's a big place. When he was weird new guy, they made act like a wolf on the 1UP show. Yeah, I mean, yes, they definitely made Patrick the butt of a lot of jokes at the time, as he was a young guy willing to be a goof. But that was the case with with Chuff as well, with Anthony. Uh, he was also the butt of a lot of jokes as a young man in the industry. People don't give Patrick Klepek, well, one, people don't give Patrick Klepek fucking the respect he deserves as a journalist. But even beyond that, he was the first employee, he was the first new guy at Giant Bomb, like, that came in as, like, the fifth guy. And, it's like Alex had been around and doing stuff, but wasn't really necessarily, but it was always, like, accepted, and Whiskey Media folks were always accepted as, like, popping in and out. And then, like, Drew graduated from being a video person to being an on-air person, and people, like, when Drew would guest on the podcast, people would be psyched about it. But Patrick just came in as, like, hey, we hired a news guy. We're going to see what else was up with that. And people were fucking pissed. Holy shit, people were pissed. People shit on Patrick Kovic too much. Yes, but he's a great dude. Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on the circle. But also, like, part of it, what I was going to say with that, and we're doing some stickers work here. We're doing stickers. I'm putting stickers that we won't see. These are going to go at the top of our legs, and then there's going to be armor over this. We're never going to see these stickers. We might see glimpses of it. So I'm not being as particular as I could be with placing these on there quite perfect, because we may never see them with the armor over it. But I still want it to look decent. His nickname is Scoops for a reason. Yes. But I mean, there would be people who would be like, oh, Patrick is on this, because in their mind, yes, I mean, that Epic Open World, you bring up a point that happens a lot with sites is people like to read things. So they're like, oh, these people don't like each other. These people don't work well together. These people don't do stuff. And it's like, nah, y'all. And even before Patrick, there was all this talk and, like, people with their theories. And look, it's a joke. It's a meta joke now that Brad's leaving. Brad's leaving is such an old joke that people don't know about it. But, like, the rumors that Brad was quitting Giant Bomb existed, and then, like, yes. And then, like, when Patrick came in, they were like, oh, he's going to take over for Brad because Brad's leaving. Like, well, Brad hasn't left yet, so Brad's bad at leaving, apparently. It's this weird thing where people, like, have their theories and want to gossip and all that, and, like, it's always been very strange because, like, look, you could look at it as they have Patrick on a quick look. That means that if you really like Vinny and Brad, they're not on the quick look with Jeff and Patrick, you can look that as a negative, or you can be like, oh, well, they were able to put that quick look out because they have Patrick there, who originally wasn't going to do video stuff. He was going to, like, pop into the podcast now and again with a news story. Like, the original idea for them was Patrick is here to do news stuff because we kind of want to try that. And he'll, like, come into the podcast to break a story or, like, talk about the news of the day in a segment. And he wasn't going to do video shit. But guess what? Turns out Patrick is fun and they get along. And, like, especially, like, Vinny and Patrick was, like, an awesome combination. And Patrick and Ryan was a great combination. So, like, oh, actually, it worked great for them. Yeah. I mean, really, it came in as that he was there, Yes. I mean, they've tried it. Remember the few times Kessler was on Quick Looks? Viewers were fit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, people liked Ben when Ben came in. People liked Ben. They liked the other Ben as well. And to be fair, although he is garbage, there was certainly people out there that were interested in that weird Nick kid. That weird Nick kid seemed like he had some interesting ideas. But yes, the idea that Matt Kessler had a video series just really irritated a lot of people. And that's frustrating. Because, like, he was... Was anybody else going to be doing the videos that he was doing? No, it wasn't like he was taking anyone's spot. He was just doing something interesting. I don't know. I think uh, it's interesting now. Austin got a lot of hate on Reddit for trying to sound smart. Yeah. Uh, yep, Brown Lantern. And I think that, like, I mean, I remember turning off Giant Bomb chat during the E3 that they revealed the superhero themed South Park game, because it was just like, I don't want to see chat being just awful about Austin clearly being unhappy with what was happening. Uh, but yeah, uh, it was always frustrating because I was psyched when Austin showed up because I didn't know Austin. Biggest one being the first Xbox online only. Yeah. Yeah, Patrick was still breaking news. He wasn't doing as much as he would have done it at another site, certainly. Because Giant Bomb, like, other than reviews, people didn't really read a lot on Giant Bomb. They were mostly there for video content and podcasts, and occasionally they would check out and reviews. Reviews still, like, people still want to see what people are saying about a game. So reviews were still good, but it was never going to be a big thing. Um, Austin and Dan is a perfect odd couple pairing. Yeah, Austin and Dan is a great combination because Dan is Dan and Austin has the patience of a saint. Uh, he's just so patient and just so great. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, why is Patrick like a villain and Drew is a hero? And then nobody, like, Jan came in and Jan has not gotten. If Jan has gotten shit, I haven't seen it. Now, to be fair, I don't check the internet as much as I could or just to find this stuff. If I looked, I'm sure I'd find it. But like most people are just like, oh, that dude seems cool. He worked on MythBusters? Fuck yeah. Uh, but like Jan is in that way because we all accepted Drew as being incredible, and then Jason seemed to know his shit and was cool. Uh, and then yeah, I mean, fucking Abby's gonna get shit forever, which fucking sucks because we don't. Hey, I'll say this: the internet does not deserve Abby Russell. She is too good for us. She is a superstar in the making. Uh, and when she no longer needs a day job and can fully pursue comedy, she will leave us in the fucking dust. And we will be grateful for her time spent with us. But I need to make it very clear that Abby Russell is way too good for producing video content on the internet. And holy shit, are we in for some big shit from her. Big stuff for Abby Russell. But she will continue to get shit for a really long time. And Ben, I'm sure, gets shit as well. Yeah, I mean, people do get upset because it's not the person they think, and, it's not the person, like, and part of it is just like the timing of it and all that. Like, I'm sure there are people they would have liked to have hired, friends of yours that you think, yes, it would have been rad if Danny had joined. I thought for sure Mary was going to jump over. I think Mary would have been incredible. And she, found her own thing to do, which is great, and I'm happy for her. But yeah, I thought for sure that Mary was going to make the jump over. But, they're hiring cool, interesting people that are young and going to be around for a while, and I don't know. I never looked into it, but when he was first hired, some not great tweets were unearthed. That is the only thing I ever heard. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. When it comes to Ben, he's very young, and I think that, like, working in Giant Bomb is going to be good for him in the same way that I think Giant Bomb has been incredibly good for Dan. I think Giant Bomb has been so good for Dan Reichert, as a growth as a person. I don't think he would be where he is if he had stayed at uh, at his former job. I think that like his growth as a human has a lot to do with being exposed to people and being around folks that aren't stuck, that are trying to better themselves. Uh, I don't think Dan could be any form of Dan without Giant Bob. Yeah. Mary would have been great for the West Coast. Yes. Uh, I agree with you. I think Mary would have been a great fit for it. I think people would have been psyched to have her there. She would have been able to avoid some of the bullshit, not all of it. Obviously, you can't be a non-white male in the games industry and get away with everything without hearing a bunch of bullshit. It's just impossible. So she would have heard some of it, but certainly, uh, and she would have heard a lot of. She's taking the spot of so and so, just like anyone else, right? If you put Jason and Ben on a video, that means that you don't have Jeff on that video, and you don't have the same thing with when Patrick joined. There's going to be a ton of people that just can only see it that way and can't see it any other way, and it's frustrating. But yeah, I think Dan grew a lot. That's what I said when Dan got hired. That was my opinion on it. Was that I was like interested? I was very interested to see um, the see what Dan like where what San Francisco and Giant Bomb was going to do to Dan Riker. I was very much interested in seeing the changes that he would go through after the move. Yes, Epic Open World, you are 100% right. As I was saying it, I was like, this speaks to many industries. It's certainly not gaming. It is not specific to gaming. It exists fully in gaming, 100% Epic Open World, that you're dealing with far more difficulties, and you cannot avoid those. They are unavoidable. I think Abby being a complete unknown in the gaming space did not help her much with people. If they had pulled in someone from another site, that certainly would have helped out a bit. But I also don't think anything was going to prevent that bullshit, and I don't think it's unfortunately avoidable, and I think it should be, and I would love it to be, but I don't think we're there yet, which sucks. The next non-white male hire on any site, I hope it's a good one and an easy one, but it's fucking tough. One of the things I like to be able to do with the panels I do, especially as I now have more control over like League of Heels, is to champion people you might not know about. And it makes me very happy when folks are like, oh, I checked out this site, or I checked out this person, or, oh, I bought their game because they were on this thing, and all that. I mean, that was always a thing that that Aaron and Pope tried to do, and I try to do as well, because it means a lot to us that folks are like, I'm into that. Because I'm also the same way. Like, I met a lot of people because of that, and now consider them close friends and people that I'm interested in what they do. And then that also spreads out to other industries. Like, I've met a lot of people in the comics industry, and my general consensus is if my friend Charlie Chu, introduces me to someone cool, I'm going to figure out what's up with this person, because if Charlie thinks that person's cool, chances are they're very fucking cool, and I might get in the ground floor of someone awesome, which is how I became friends with my friend DJ. If you want to pre-order Black Mage, if you have a local comic shop, if you do pull lists, please pre-order Black Mage. Please help out my friend DJ. DJ and Danny are putting out a book that's going to make a lot of people fucking pissed off. It is what happens when the first black wizard attends a previously white-only wizarding school. That's Black Mage. It's coming out in October, and it's going to piss off a lot of fucking people that I would love to piss off. So please check out that book. Because DJ and Danny are awesome folks, and I'm very excited. I've been excited about that book for fucking like a year now, since I first heard about it. I like all the people you bring League of Heels, bring back the Indie Love Coalition. Yeah, I mean, former members of Indie Love Coalition could certainly rebrand it at any time. It's their name, but a new Indie Love Coalition could be really cool. I could definitely see that being a thing. Shout out to Allegra Frank for killing it and having that Scott Aukerman interview. Indeed, Allegra fucking owns. I'm so happy for her and the cool shit she's doing. And then we get to benefit from her cool shit. Yes, I think Black Mage is going to be a really good comic. Like I said, the people involved in it are rad as fuck. DJ Kirkland is such a great artist, and he's such a good dude. That I'm so excited that his book is finally out. I don't know Danny super well. I know him kind of well, but not super well as I know DJ. But yeah, so excited about that. Yeah, I mean, like, I love to be able to showcase some cool people, some interesting people. You know, give people a chance to shine and to make some new fans and get the word out about the things they do and what they get to make. We don't always get to do that. And then also, like, selfishly, it's a chance for us to hang out with our friends, we get to be a reason why some people still go to PAXs or go to as many as they do instead of just one, or stay another night or another day. Makes me very happy that we're part of the reason people get to keep doing that stuff, or is a built-in excuse of like, well, I could do this, and then also I know I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do part of a show, so I guess I better go. And it's like, yeah, please, let me see my cool friends. All right, so we are continuing on our leg here. We're gonna take a yes. This is the Full Mechanics Bael, indeed. This is like the Bael. Yes, the Bael. The Bael is a fun, sleek-looking kit. I mean, I like Lupus Rex is such a great kit. Like there's so many great Gunpla within Iron-Blooded Orphans, and this one I don't think is any exception. Just a sleek, really nice-looking kit that has been really fun to build. In a moment or two, I will take a momentary break, a pause for the cause, as I like to say, talk about ways you can support the stream for our new friends joining us tonight, which has just turned out to be quite a good number of y'all. Hello and welcome. But yeah, I'll take a moment here. I'm going to finish off this leg, and then I will take a pause for the cause, and we'll start adding some armor. As a way to keep the momentum going here. Yes. Bael goal. Yes, indeed. I like that. It's hard to say, but I know what you're saying. I know how you're saying it. Yeah, we got some, Hi Boy Blue. So back to Waypoint Changing Device Gaming. Are they still going to go to events like E3 or PAX? So, Epic Open World, my assumption is, like, they're going to go to E3, right? You don't do gaming coverage. I mean, they send, like, Jeff Bacalar goes to E3. Like, you don't do gaming coverage and not attend E3. Now, their presence might just be they go there for appointments and they're only there, as many days. And maybe this is the end of sending Austin to Judges Week. Maybe that's the end of that. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I feel like that's certainly a thing that'll happen. As far as PAX goes, PAX East this year might have been the last time. Their live panel might have been it. I don't know. I know that it's always Solidus Hawk is now following. Great name, Solidus. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can't speak for them. I don't know the budgets. I don't know their plans. I hope they continue to go places. Because Jeff Bacalar is a CNET employee that is on the Giant Bomb, the Beastcast. Jeff guests on there quite a bit, and he is a CNET employee, but he does their gaming stuff. And their CNET's gaming is not huge, but they still send him out. Yes, Sector 7 is Sector 7, but he's the rotating chair that is on every week on the Giant Bomb's East Coast podcast. But Jeff goes. They send Jeff out, and he's just like one of a couple people from CNET that covers games. Of course, he also goes to CES, so who knows? I don't know. I hope they'll still make it to places. I mean, I want to see. Look, it's always great to see Patrick. I love seeing Patrick, but like, I don't see Austin and Danielle in New York because we're all very busy people. So it's really nice to be able to see Austin. Jeff Batchelor? No. No, I don't know Jeff Batchelor. I don't think he goes to E3. All right, so I'm going to combine these things. Waffle Soup is here. Hi, Waffle Soup. Happy to have you. CNET also sends Ashley Esqueda to E3 because she's in LA. I mean, Epic, that just makes sense, right? That's like I feel like Rob Zachney would go to PAX East because he just lives in the Boston area. Like, it would be weird if he didn't just show up as a, Waypoint employee. All right, so there's our frame. I'll put it down there. We looked at that. So I'm just going to take a quick pause for the cause, a couple of moments to say hi to y'all, especially the new folks that are hanging out. We're going to start putting the armor on this, and then we'll start building the weapons and doing all that. And a few more stickers left to apply here and there. Yes, you know a different Jeff. I think we all know a different Jeff. I'd like to think we all know a few Jeffs out there. Anyway, hi. First and foremost, if you don't follow me here on the channel, please give it a follow. Turn your notifications on so you know when I stream. I stream Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Would love to have you come check it out. Again, consider becoming a subscriber. You can use your Twitch coin if you have Amazon Prime. You link it to your Twitch. You get Twitch Prime. You get a coin you can use. It's just like real money. You can also just become a subscriber no matter what. If subscribers want to throw the Bear Cave and the Lego emote in the chat, let the people know. That's the reward, is some pretty cool emotes. You're part of the Bear Cave if you're here. You don't have to be a subscriber to be part of the Bear Cave. You don't have to even click the follow button to be part of the Bear Cave. Being here in chat, being here present as a viewer, even if you don't feel like chatting, you are part of the Bear Cave, and you're welcome, and I'm happy to have you. You may have noticed this, but we have a pretty nice chat. A super nice chat. An engaging chat that I'm so proud of and so happy has found this stream. Folks that stop in now and again, folks that come in and talk a lot, that have stuff they want to chat about with me about model kits or anime or whatever. Talking about video game stuff. It's really nice, and I'm so thankful for it. I would not be doing this if I did not have cool, nice people watching. If I was streaming for 10 people and nobody talked, I probably wouldn't do it 6 hours a week. I'd still do it because it's an excuse to build model kits, which I love. But, it makes it easier. If subscribing on Twitch isn't up to your style, well, you could join my Patreon. No heated gaming moments in this stream. I mean, look, if I said some shit that I needed to apologize for, I would not blame it on a heated gaming moment. I would take responsibility for me saying some shit that I should not have been saying and learn from my mistake. And if it's shit that I didn't know I shouldn't be saying, because that's human, okay, teachable moment. I'd love to learn more about the world and about people. So yeah, no heated gaming moments here. I have a Patreon. You could join that if you'd like to. Brown Lantern just cheered. Thank you so much for that, Brown Lantern. Yeah, bits and coins always appreciated. But yeah, my Patreon, it's fine. You could join that. It's pretty cool. There's some rewards that are, nice. The $5 and $10. I think the $10 is pretty cool because you get to choose what I build in what order I build things, which is pretty neat. Speaking of building things, I've got an Amazon wish list. This wish list has model kits that I would like to build on stream, and you could buy it, and it would jump in the order. So I have the gun cannon detector. That came in from a person who's wishing to be anonymous. Well, anonymous person, I'm going to build that next. Unless something else comes in which case we'll do some sort of figure it out. But I'll build everything that is bought on my wish list. And there's something missing from that wish list. So you think, hey, put this on your wish list. I'll buy it. I'll put that up there. Like I have this base for the 160 scale, a perfect grade base that's made by a third party. That's on there. I wouldn't mind having that. That would be helpful to have. I got some Lego sets. I've got some model kits. I got some paper craft. I got a bunch of different things on there. Things that I would like to build on stream because this is an expensive thing, and your help is very much appreciated. And then I've got a coffee if you want to do a one-time donation. I think on Saturday somebody bought me like literally $3, like a cup of coffee. And that goes a long way, and I appreciate it very much. And anything I make from coffee, from Patreon, from Twitch, from my YouTube, which someday I'll get another payout from my YouTube in a year. That goes to me buying kits and equipment. And it's very much appreciated. The support. I have a Discord called the Build with Baer community, and you could join that if you wanted to. You want to jump in the old community. I post stuff there. People post things, stuff they're working on. They can promote themselves if you're a streamer. That's also part of the community. You can let people know, like Durman and Canadian Papa Bear, and many other folks, and Harold, and many other folks that stream. You can always just promote that there, because maybe if people like what I do, they might like what you do too. And then the last thing I want to promote before we get back into the building, I got to drink some water because it's long overdue. It's been an hour. I got to get some liquid going in there. Is I'm doing a Jackbox charity stream on Saturday, May 18th from 8 p.m. till midnight. Now, normally I stream Saturday nights, build streams. This is going to be a special stream. Where I'm going to do Jackbox stuff. I'm going to play with the community. I'm also going to play with some friends of mine, to be TBA, that I will announce soon. They will be coming in. They'll jump into Discord. I'll pick, play with them as well. And this is all going to benefit St. Jude. St. Jude Hospital. I am part of the Chatloaf and Friends team, which is Kate Stark put the team together. Kate is a fantastic streamer and person and friend. I am lucky to have her as a friend, and I am so excited about that. I'm here for charity Jackbox charity streams. Yeah, and I think it'll be fun. And we're going to do stuff like, hey, we got $200. Yeah, she's at twitch.tv/Kate, and she's the best. She's taking a vacation soon, and I'm thrilled for her that she can do that. So I'm excited that she's going to be able to have a bit of a break coming up. We need F. I want to go back to the building. We're going to go back to the building. You're buying a Tommy Truck vehicle chassis for a Hildorf. I'm buying. Ooh, that's fun. That's a whole project right there. Congratulations, says on that. All right, so we're now doing a thing that is weird for Model Kit, in that we will now be taking off some of the armor that we or some of the build. We're either going to be replacing some pieces with some armor, or in this case, we're going to take off the arms, put on a piece of armor, and then put the arms back on, because that's how this kit works, which is very strange. So we got a nut arm there. We're going to take this part off. So we're going to remove this part of the arm, and we're going to put on some armor pieces, and then we will put the arms back on because we built the whole frame, and now we're adding the armor to it. All right, so I want to talk about some anime stuff here because it's the second half of the stream, and that's usually when I talk about anime. I have not watched. Original plan was for me to watch a lot of Gundam Build Fighters because between the Saturday stream and the Monday stream, there's not a lot of anime coming out, and so I was like, "Oh, I'll watch that." I've kind of fallen off. I was liking it, but I'm not liking it as much as I was previously. It's not really doing it for me. I think it's a fine show, but it's not really like I'm not like thrilled about it. But I mentioned this on Saturday. Yowamushi Pedal. I've been watching a lot of that. I am done with the first season of Yowamushi Pedal. Sector 7, we'll get to that. I don't have a lot of anime talk, so we'll get to the octopus scene in the Goonies, yes. The whole weird alien... Yeah, Boy Blue, the alien guy, like, you get it. It takes a little while for me to be like, okay, what's up? What's going on with this? But, I don't know. He's fine. No. But really, the Yoshi's what is it called? Yowamushi Pedal. I'm really into. I'm not a sports anime fan per se. I've liked some, but I don't. It's not a genre that I go and seek out. So I was pleasantly surprised about how much I really like this like team of racers, like bike cyclists. But I'm thoroughly engaged in that show. Finished the first season. Saint Mordor is now following. Thank you, Saint Mordor. It's a really fun show. I think that having a character who is naturally good at it, but is also still just like a goofy weirdo, is very helpful because he's struggling, but very quickly becomes like a mascot of sorts and becomes like a character that people like can't help but be like psyched about and kind of like changes the dynamic. And there's something really beautiful about like the very concept of a positive, nice, hardworking person can change the vibe and change like the team dynamic. I watched the clip that's later that I haven't gotten to yet. The character. So basically, it's just like this anime loving nerdy kid dude ends up is a natural at cycling and the climbing portion of cycling, and is like trying to figure it out and trying to get better at it and like fill in this team. And he's with all these like athletes, these sports athletes characters that have no idea how to deal with like not just his earnestness, but also the fact that he's like none of them watch anime. They maybe did when they were a young boy, but they certainly don't now. So it's just him trying to relate to people is very difficult. And it's I don't know. A big portion of the first season is all of them kind of realizing like, oh, I'm getting better because we're all getting better. And this kid is partially responsible for the vibe that everyone has. I don't know. It's a good show. The other anime show that I want to talk about real briefly is Yatogame-chan, Kansatsu Nikki. It's one of the two 3-minute episodes shows that I'm watching that I very much enjoy. As mentioned, it is very short and it is very cute, and I like it a whole lot. It's just a fun little show about a guy that moves to kind of like the country from Tokyo and dealing with this girl that definitely doesn't want anything to do with him, but he wants to be friends. And it's just a cute little fun show. Oops. I've run into this problem before. Putting the armor part of this on the neck piece here over a lot of the parts that you already put on can be annoying. So I have run into an issue doing that. That's kind of what I'm fiddling with right now. But you did say, Sector 7, you want to talk about the octopus scene in the Goonies. Yes, so I tweeted about this today. It was in response partially to people talking about their issues with the gaffe at Game of Thrones with the coffee cup gaffe, and how I said, well, eventually we'll all be gaslit about it because the future versions of the stream won't have it in there. DVDs and Blu-rays and whatever the next physical media is, if there is one, won't have it included, and it'll be like it even though it's on the internet and you can't escape it, but it will feel like eventually, in decades from now, it eventually will feel like it didn't happen, and that it's like, oh no, that didn't happen, that wasn't a part of the show. And I described that as the opposite of the Goonies. So, if you don't know, Goonies is a show in the 80s. It's a movie. It's not a show. It's a movie that came out in the 80s about the Goonies are some kids that live in this coastal town that is a tiny little town, and all the houses are going to be foreclosed on, and everyone's going to have to leave. So the kids who get into some hijinks together go on a wacky adventure in an attempt to find buried treasure to save their town. So yeah, some of you know the Goonies, yes, and it has Samwise in it, yes. And it's got a bunch of great character actors of the time, and it's a really fun, weird movie. It's very 80s, and also, hey, it's also fucking racist, and it is a unfortunately incredibly 80s portrayal of Asian people that is not fucking cool. Asmo's about my age and hasn't seen the Goonies. Well, I mean, yeah, it came out in the 80s, so I didn't watch it when it came out in theaters. I was born in 1980, and I did not see it in theaters. I saw it, and what I'm bringing this up is what happened to the Goonies. Yeah, I mean, it's like Pretty in Pink in that it is making a lot of terrible assumptions about what Asian people are like for laughs. Kind of like Temple, yeah. Yes, Brown Lantern, that's more racist to your type of folks, certainly. But also, there is also a incredibly bad stereotype of an Asian person as well. So Lashbrook, it's great at the time if you're a kid, because it's a bunch of kids doing some cool ass shit, including fighting fucking gangsters. So like, it's got a lot going on, and monsters and ghosts and traps and a big epic adventure. And then I didn't see it in theaters because I wasn't going to movies like that at the time. But I did watch it in the 90s, early 90s, when it was on Disney. But Disney didn't want some of those parts of the movie to be on the Disney Channel, so they cut some stuff. So what they did was they put in a couple of deleted scenes that weren't in the movie originally. They weren't even in the VHS release at the time. You know, before DVD. I'm having so much trouble getting this on. This is being really annoying. I will get there, but it is being quite annoying to get this piece to connect the way I would like it to. I'm going to try to do it without the head attached. See if I can do that. No, that's not going to work. Maybe it will. So it was... So they added some stuff that they had cut from it, including this octopus fighting scene, which seemed far-fetched for the time, but certainly wasn't too outlandish, and also didn't look particularly great. But they fight a giant, like, octopus squid looking thing. And there's actually a yes, Goonies. We're talking about Goonies. There's actually a mention at the end of it, like, about this fight that was cut from the theatrical release and not in there. But it got added, and then eventually get added later in the movie. But so if you watch in the theaters, you don't know anything about this octopus squid. But if you watch it on Disney, it happened. So for me, that's canon. But for other people, it's not. And then eventually it got this weird, like, kind of mythology about it where people were like, it didn't happen. It's a bear, like now it's the Berenstain Bears thing is the big popular one. Or the idea that that Sinbad was in a genie movie is the other one that is very popular. A popular theory. That whole thing. The urban legends. Yes. But really what it is like, it wasn't in the movie. So you could have seen that movie once and been like, there's no octopus, there's no squid, what are you talking about? And you'd be right. Or you could be like me and watched it on Disney in like a Saturday afternoon and been like, oh, there's that scene. It's very weird. But to me, that's like, it's this weird, it's such a strange phenomenon because it both does and doesn't. Sinbad was not in a genie movie. No. He was not. So, one of the funny, there's a College Humor did a parody video of it, of him in it to play off the idea. But yeah, he was never in a genie movie. People are mistaking it for either Sinbad, the Legend of Sinbad, the Arabian Tales, or they are mistaking it for other black men who were genies in movies. And it's very strange. Like Kazam, yes. Kazam, people are, yes, they're definitely confusing Kazam and think that it was Sinbad was in a movie, and it's very strange. Like, if you told me that Sinbad was a genie in a movie, I'd believe you. I don't have any reason to not think that they would have done that. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't. Yeah, it's very strange. And a lot of that is content, which, like, we don't content changes, which we don't have as much anymore. God damn it. I can't get this right. This is like becoming incredibly frustrating. That I can't get this little piece in right without fucking things up. You're totally thinking Kazam. Yes. Maybe we just want to forget. I mean, also, yeah, Kazam is not. It's not his best movie. By any stretch of the imagination. Because we all know that Shaq's best movie is Steel. Which is... Steel's not bad, y'all. It's not good. Steel is not a good movie. But it's way better than people give it credit for. Because they don't give it any credit as being a good movie. But I got a soft spot in my heart for Steel. I think it's a good attempt to make a movie. Alright, so let's try to get this piece in the way I want it to. Alright, I think that's it. I think we did it. Put the head back on. Move on. Alright, I think we nailed it. So now we put these little pieces back on. Connectors here. Steel was great. He showed up in the Saturday morning cartoons. Yes. Shaq's best video game is Shaq Fu on the SNES. Yeah, I mean, epic open world. Shaq Fu is the best of a lot of things, including the best Shaq thing. It might be the best Shaq thing. Alright, then we're going to put some armor on the back here. That took way longer than it should have, and I bet will fall apart later, so I'm going to try to be extra careful around anything to do with that piece of equipment here. And then we're going to attach the top parts there. Okay. All right, try to line this up right. Yeah, we did it. Blue Chips has a word to say about Shaq Best Movie. Okay, all right, all right. From Gunpla to Goonies. I mean, that's like a lot of what we talk about on stream here has nothing to do with model kit building. Sometimes we certainly will talk about technique and building and all that, but that is the nice thing about this stream, in my opinion, is that we're talking about a lot of stuff that's going on that we're into and interested in, and I'm always excited to be able to talk to people about the stuff going on that they want to chat about. And sometimes that's talking about Goonies, and sometimes that's talking about video game sites and or whatever, or anime. Shaq Fook 2 is very racist in the ways that they're odd. Making Des would think that it's okay. I have not I've not checked out Shaq Fu 2. Huh. Interesting. So I can't I can't, or at the moment anyway, comment about that. But that sucks. You want it to be cool. Because Shaq Fu is a fun game. B and A, keep building. A1 is here. Alright, got going on there. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about anime and video game stuff and all kinds of things. Try to make sure that we have a broad conversations here on the stream, because it's not always just about the model kits that we build, although a lot of times it is. And sometimes, at this point, like, I don't have anything much to say about what we're doing here. We're doing that thing where we have to, like, take a piece off and then put another piece in, and it's weird. And we'll do that, and it'll be fun. We also need F11. Any interest in fan-made Pokemon games? I've never tried one. I've never had a desire. I think like the closest I've had is I've had like, I played them emulated, certainly, but I don't think I haven't. I mean, I really love Pokemon, and here's the thing, y'all. I think Pokemon games are good. I think they make good Pokemon games. Like, it's going to come, we're coming to the point now soon where there's going to be a Pokemon that comes out on a system I don't own, because I don't have a Switch. And, like, I mean, eventually I'll have to get one. Hopefully my financial situation will be such that it will not be, that I will be able to do that easily. But I'm not looking forward to the day that there are a bunch of people out there playing a Pokemon game, and I'm not, because that's going to be weird. But I love Pokemon. I have an anime update. I watched Review Starlight the other day, and that show is really good. Yes. It is Utena as hell. Utina as hell. You're totally right. It's been a long time since I've seen that show, but I remember being really into it. So that's very cool. Speaking of Pokemon, scrolling through Twitter, Ben Peck appears attended an early screening of Detective Pikachu. Yes, I know that people are at the premiere this week. Some folks that I know were checking out that game, and that's cool. Happy for them to check out that weirdness. Look forward, or not game, but movie. I look forward to hearing about it. Yeah. All right, so I don't know how this connects to this. I'm looking. What I might have to do is look at the kit, because this goes down. Oh, so as you saw, we talked about this. There's a gold sticker here. We're about to cover that sticker up. We're literally covering it up with armor, which is a very strange thing, but it's par for the course with this kit to just be like, yep, that's it. We're done. Oh, it goes here. I got it now. All right. So part of this kit is, and on all of these kits, um, this full mechanics is covering up what you've already built with other things, even though you put some detail into it. It's very odd. So hyped for Detective Pikachu. Hell yeah. Got this the first I Am Reborn scene. Was like, hell yeah, indeed. Recently watched 08 Stardust Memory. Fist of the Nose Star. The King of Braves. Oh, yes. I was also surprised with all of the ancient mech shows on High Dive. Yes. Yeah, they have quite the collection on there. I haven't really dug through. As I said, there's a lot this season. Some of it isn't my favorite shows by any means, but there's a lot of shows happening right now, and so I haven't really dug. Like I think that Pedal was a surprise. That was definitely not on any list of things that I expected to be watching this season. It kind of came out of nowhere for me, but it was. I'm happy to because I really liked it, but I was not expecting. 8th MS team builds Brown Lantern. It builds very quickly. I've heard from a few folks. For me, it definitely caught my interest right away, and I didn't have that time to where I had to be like, I like the first episode. So, but I have heard some folks were not super high on the first episode, and you know, it's so good. So I hope you stick with it. All right, so this piece that was on the forehead is just goes in the box. We're not building it anymore because now we're going to build the rest of the head. It's backloaded. Yeah, I would say that. Going to start the UFO Grand Desert since the HD Grand Desert thing. Not Mech or Shack related anime, but have you seen Shack Mech? Rakugo, Shinju. Boy Blue. I'm gonna look that up because I think I have, but oh, okay, yeah. Yes, That's right. Yes, Rakugo. That's why that I was like, why? I know what Rakugo is. It's a real weird show. I did like it. As a person that does like a lot of like comedy, it is sometimes tough to watch comedy shows, although this one's like so specific in ways and that is the art form studying of comedy, so it is many ways different from anything else. Uh, but it's good. Uh, uh, yeah, I really do like that show. That's cool, Boy Blue, that you were checking that out. Um, as mentioned, I should, mentioned it a bunch, but, keep wanting to say. Senryu Girl is the best show this season, in my opinion. It is just such a lovely show, and the spirit and vibe of it is so fun. It is a cute little romance show. Uh, I didn't necessarily love the last episode, but I still liked it. I just to me they were introducing interesting characters, and the character of a psychic girl is not interesting or new to me at all. I mean, it's not a new. It's as far as tropes go, it's very much like par for the course. So I wasn't like I'm not super engaged with that character. Uh, Whereas the other characters in the show I think are way more interesting. So I was much more like pleased with those characters than some girl that, you know, reads tarot cards. I'm much more interested in the uh, girl who adopts a guy as kind of like to be her bit to be the big sister who definitely has a crush on him. Like that's an interesting character. The uh, character that speaks in haiku and the character that speaks in art are both interesting characters that I'm more engaged in than others. So I don't know. I didn't, yeah, but I'll you know, I'm sure I will find a reason to like this character, or she won't be used that much and it won't matter. Hooray. I'm having issues getting this piece on. There we go. It went on there. Took a second. There we go. Just get the face mask on there. We got to put some stickers on the end of this. So we'll do that now. But yeah, I'm excited for One Punch Man tomorrow to see season 2 One Punch Man, to see where it goes, because the last 2 episodes have been good, even if the first 2 were not. So I am excited to see what could happen on that show. I am hopeful that we end up with something good, because, as I said, it has been not as good as it could be, in my opinion. We'll see. Okay, so I gotta put some stickers on. I gotta figure out how this goes on. Castlevania, in a nutshell, Belmont, Die Monster, you don't belong in this world, Dracula. Can you please not yell? Have you read the One Punch Man manga? Sector 7, not all of it, but a lot of it. In fact, that like I've read basically all that's going to be in season 2. I have read before. So that's why I know that I think Metal Bat fucking owns. And I was happy with Metal Bat in this one. So I've read most of what's going to be this season. And I would actually recommend that. If you really liked One Punch Man Season 1, I would recommend reading Season 2. Also, because then you can get through the things that I think are kind of boring. Which, oh man, I feel like Season 2 is going to be tough. Because in my opinion, it's my opinion, the fight scene, the martial arts stuff, there is just too much for that martial arts tournament before it goes bad. Because, of course, it goes bad. But I think it goes on way too long. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that in the anime. But yeah, the art in the first 2 episodes was not great. Have a great night, Brown Lantern. Thanks for coming by the old stream. Happy to have you here. Back on Thursday with Building. Yeah, Metal Bat is a great character. And I also like the voice actor they're doing with King. I think he's a good choice for the role, because that's a tough character. Because it has to have some of the menace, but also the perceived menace, I should say, but also has to be just so scared. I think the voice actor they're using for King is good. Yes, he's constantly that is. There are three things you need to know about Metal Bat. One, he's a Boncho greaser type. 2, the more you injure him, the more damage you inflict on him, the stronger he gets and the more powerful he gets. And 3, his little sister does not want him to be a superhero or a hero, and is very mad about it, and he loves his sister very much. She does not want him doing this shit. About to head out, kind of looked hella dope, and I think it might be next one after the HE Gushin. Well, yeah, Boy Blue, I think this is a fun-looking kit, so keep an eye on it. We'll be working on it for a little while left tonight, and then I'll be back on Thursday doing the kit. Thanks for stopping in. Happy to have you here. But yeah, Metal Bat is a great character in that show. So I'm excited for tomorrow. I mean, I get that, and also, ooh, look at that head. Look at that. I don't like these stickers too much, but I don't really like stickers, so you know me. Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah. We're definitely gonna finish this up on Thursday, so I'm glad that I have another kit to build, and I know what's gonna be that gun cannon detector. Um, yeah. Now we're just adding armor. We've got a bunch of armor to put on, various pieces. Then we got some weapons to build, and the waist part there. So yeah, we're not done, obviously, but uh, oh wow, yeah. Sorry about that, Saz, but I do have a filter in for spamming caps. Uh, it occasionally uh, triggers when people are just excited about things, which is my apologies, or like we are having a conversation about FLCL. Which we can't have a conversation about. We had, you got to call it Fooly Cooly, because if you call it, you just don't like Nightbots, yeah. But if you don't like FLC, or if you don't like, using capital letters and stuff, it's fine. But it's the only real moderation we have on the stream, and it is a capability helpful. Yes, Shaz, the anime FLCL, also known as Fooly Cooly, um, is a weird show. It's by Gainax. They make weird anime, and we were talking about it because the second season had come out and was on Adult Swim, and so we were talking about that show, and it tripped a bunch of censors because a lot of people were just writing the name of it, and that it was not. It was yeah. It was not happy. The Nightbot was not happy. I never watched it, Sector 7. I don't have cable right now, so I never watched it. I heard not. I heard okay things and not great things, and I heard later it was good, but maybe it wasn't great. Zorbs just subscribed with just Prime. That's 18 months as a subscriber. Thank you so much, Zorbs. Let's throw the Bear Key emote in there. Throw the Lego emote. If you're tier 2, throw the Scythe in there. And thank Zorbs for that. Thank you so much, Zorbs, for hanging out with us and subscribing. Always appreciate it, my friend. I have... So, Kamen Rider, I have very little experience with. I've watched a lot of clips on YouTube, but I never watched it like growing up, and so I have like a huge there's just a chunk of it like when I would have watched it, I just wasn't paying attention to those shows. I think like the age range, you know what I mean? So I missed out on what seems to be very cool and very weird show. So I'm not thrilled about it, but yeah, I missed out on checking out that cool shit. Alright, so this goes on like this. Where does this armor piece go? It goes above that. Alright. Growing up watching Mecha and Giant Monsters and Sentai. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I was born in 1980, so, like, I, watched the 80s anime shows, like, all of the ones they packaged as Robotech, the 2 shows they packaged as Voltron, like, I saw those shows, and, Japanese import stuff, and in some cases not knowing they were imported at all. And then, I was maybe a little old for Power Rangers, but I was still interested in Power Rangers as a show. So I watched some of that and some of the other shows that came out that were inspired by it. But yeah, I mean, I love that stuff. And I've watched some of the stuff that like it's influenced, like Cashern, like and then later the remake Cashern Sins, which is so dark and weird and great. But I've watched some of the stuff that's been clearly inspired by Kamen Riders and those shows. I know he's not like a major guy, but that I'm in high school and I still watch. Yes. Well, yeah. Of course. But I'm saying is like, look, things are different for you than they were for me, okay? Because I was born like I said, I was born in 1980. And animation and show, there was a lot of stuff that people just assumed you grew out of, that you liked, and then you didn't like it anymore because you reached a certain age. And we're less invested in that now than we were then. Like, it's not in the same, any everything from Pokemon to, like, if anyone was like weirded out by people playing Pokemon Go, they were the weird ones, not the people playing Pokemon Go. But like the fact that when I was in college, I was still playing Pokemon games, people were very surprised. I had a lot of like, "Oh, I used to do that." And it's like, "Well, yeah, you still play games. You just decided that certain games weren't for you anymore. You're fucking missing out." Um, but yeah, there was a point where it felt like I was too old for certain genres of games, or certain TV shows and stuff like that. But I still watched them. I just maybe didn't talk about them, at school. Try to, keep that under my hat. Oops. All right. This doesn't want to fit, so I'm going to take this off here. Now, I think, yeah, like I said, I mean, like, you had, you had 20 and 30-year-olds reading Harry Potter on the subway, and that definitely felt like a turning point for a lot of people. Oops. Oh no, piece fell. So one of the things with full mechanics is occasionally they're just pieces that don't seem to want to go on like they should, and sometimes that's your fault as a builder, or in this case, my fault. And sometimes it just feels like this piece isn't right, but I don't know. Put that on there, and we'll see how it looks later. It looks okay right now. And we'll do this E2 and E110. Skip all the scenes in Sentai with no giant robots. Well, I can understand that. We didn't have the easiest accessible communities where we could find people who like the same shit and talk about it. Indeed, Asmo. I mean, I was in an anime club in my youth, my late teens, and that had like people of various ages and interest in stuff, and we watched all kinds of things. I watched a lot of shit I didn't care about because it was people that liked anime, but like it had to be anime in general and not anime specific, which would have been better, certainly. Uh, like Mario never have. I get that. It's not for everyone. I love a good Mario game. I think Nintendo crafts incredibly well done games, and I really enjoy playing Mario games. I try to when I can. I think they do an excellent job. But you've aged out of it. Yeah, Epic World, yeah. I understand that. Yeah. Like I'm not like mad if folks aren't playing them. I'm just happy they exist because I think they're cool. Like I think the platformers are really fun. I think that their 3D openish world kind of stuff is really interesting and cool. I like the 2D platformers as well. I have a lot of love for that series. The many incarnations of them. Well, I'm sorry you were forced to play Mario 3. I love Mario 3. Of course, as I said, I am old, and it was a very important game at the time for me. But I'm sorry you were forced to play anything that you didn't want to play, because that's not fun. You remember Sector 7 says, I remember borrowing my friend bootleg anime VHS tapes in high school. Yes, Sector 7, that was a period, there was a period there before you just, before you had easy legal access to video game, to anime, where you just buy the anime you want to watch, and there's nothing it's very simple and easy to do that. Or in the days where you just got the anime you wanted to watch on torrent sites. If you really wanted to watch a show, you had to trade VHS tapes with other people and maybe buy some VHS tapes because you're in a major enough city, or there's a weird thing in the mall that sells bootleg martial arts stuff, and they do a little bit of anime for the things they think will sell well enough, and you can get yourself some, third gen VHS tapes of a fan sub. Uh, or yeah, you belong to anime groups and you do tape trading and you get yourself a second VCR because you need that second VCR in order to get the content you need and to be able to trade with people and tape your tapes. And there's a sketchy dude that is in your circle and hanging out, and then suddenly and is apparently borrowed from everyone, but nobody knew that they were borrowing from them, and then they just fucking take off, and suddenly you don't have the third tape in your collection. Look, I don't know. I don't know why why this kit has heels, but apparently it works well for it for movement because it's light on its feet and cuts people pretty good with its swords. So, it works for it. It's just a big old boot with a big old heel. And apparently gets the job done. So, who am I to say? Most of the mobile suits in IBO have heels. Yeah, Mr. Bob, I agree. That does generally seem to be the case. Anyway, we're gonna stop there on our Bael. Our Bael is getting some armor. It's gonna get some more armor going on there, but we're almost done with the stream. So thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. I'll be back here on Thursday for another build stream. I hope you can join me for that. And I will. I'll be building Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So please consider coming back, check it out. Let a friend know if you like this and you have some friends that like model kit building and hanging out with a cool community. Tell a friend. Consider becoming a subscriber or a follower. And I'll see you next time on the Build with Baer Workshop. Bye-bye. Bye.